Welcome to ComSpark TV. My name is Steve Gruetter. I'm on the Executive Host Committee for ComSpark here in 2019. I'll be your moderator today. Today we are here with Steve Farley, the Vice President of Software Development at Nationwide. Steve, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Nationwide, obviously an exceptionally large shop. What are you doing to drive business outcomes at Nationwide?
Yeah, we have a lot of initiatives this year, and they actually carry over multiple years. So, when you think about the evolution of technology in the industry, and you think about the evolution of technology at Nationwide, we have some big transformational efforts taking place. So think about a world where many of our applications might be 20, 30 years old, and we just need to transform the core of what we do at Nationwide. There's big heavy lifting taking place in that space. We're also transforming value to the business through digital solutions, through introducing APIs to expose our services outwardly to our members and customers externally. So embracing new technology from a digital perspective to kind of drive that value. And I think the second component is doing that with speed. If you enter Nationwide, you're going to see a big focus on speed. You're going to see the speed and IT word everywhere. So the need for speed was a campaign we used last year, and that speed comes in many forms. And my role as Vice President of Software Engineering and Software Development is how do we get speed into the development equation. So we're embracing industry standards like measuring lead time for change in the development cycles. How do we improve that lead time over time by introducing automation principles, DevOps principles, end-to-end agile principles, and making sure that we're doing the work at a faster pace.
Do you have any success stories you could share with us on some wins that you picked up within that role?
We have a lot of success, but you can look at across many of our business solutions, whether it's our pet business out in California or our Nationwide financial business here in Columbus, Ohio, and basically getting faster what we call minimal marketable products and minimal viable solutions on the table. So not trying to create a big solution around a mobile app. So introduce a new mobile app at Nationwide through a vendor partner of ours related to our Nationwide financial business here recently, working on a big pet transformation out in California where we're doing the work iteratively. And basically everywhere you go, we're introducing technology in a more iterative fashion, which is very agile. We call that, with the new industry trends around minimal marketable and minimal viable product, getting things out there quicker, getting those feedback loops, and then improving from there.
So building on top of it.
Building on top of what we learned by getting things to market.
So all of this, especially with the numerous teams, has got to involve an incredible amount of technology transitions. Could you go into that some?
Yeah, so we run, I'll tell you about the magnitude of the teams first. We run about, today we're baseline at about 208 to 210 Agile teams building software, and it spans 47 different technology domains, many of them that have to talk together. So it could be everything from legacy mainframe solutions to new digital mobile solutions, to large transactional engines, to package solutions that we use, whether that's Salesforce.com or other packages. The way we work is really important because those solutions need to talk to each other. So as we start to focus on the speed equation and how we work, we got to make sure that we can connect the dots and make everybody effective as those solutions talk to each other.
Coordinating 205, 210 Agile dev teams has got to take a significant amount of organization on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been on a long journey, probably about a 10-year journey. Agile at scale is a tough thing. Being an at-scale organization makes it complex because of the intersections of those Agile teams. Agile, the manifesto was written 18 years ago and can be somewhat easier in a simplistic world of maybe a digital.com team that is only dealing with one or two Agile teams, but trying to get any form of alignment across 208 teams and kind of be a catalyst for speed across that form of scale is an interesting dynamic.
So you mentioned on how it affects work, the day-to-day. Could you give us some examples of how you're transitioning on how the work is being done, both at the executive and the development layer?
Absolutely. So one of the big kicks we have is in the early days of Agile, Like most companies, we adopted Agile just inside the four walls of IT. And we did what we would call development in the Agile space. But we ended up in this, what we coined water scrum fall, which is the business was still very waterfall oriented, the way we funded, the way we established projects, and then we'd waterfall that into kind of the dev teams who then would work their Agile magic, and then we'd go into wait states for deployment on the back end because of how we needed to glue things together across our different solutions. So the big push right now is really on that front end and back end. So getting the business and business agility move forward, we're actually coining that terms like integrated planning and end-to-end agile, and actually shifting left that speed into the business to influence maybe how we fund, influence maybe how we decompose and package concepts like minimal marketable products and minimal viable products instead of big bang solutions, and working in partnership with our business to drive that speed, versus where we were in the past was really only focused at the development level with speed.
So taking that, where are you at with your transition from what you mentioned in the front end and then the back end?
Yep. We're so lots of things are happening. So I'll use that term, shifting left a lot of things. So we're shifting left into the business around the requirement space. How do we create value streams? How do we decompose those value streams to smaller chunks of work to feed our Agile teams? Shifting left, how we do automated testing and automation in all forms. We have a big initiative that we call Test Engineering and Automation that's led by one of my partners, Rich Alexander, and we're infusing how do we drive automation left as we build and develop and increase our testing automation versus the manual testing of the past. Same thing on the back end. We're automating how do we do deployments, building trust into the deployment cycle so we can kind of tear down those wait states on the back end. And probably the most readily adopted principle that we're after from a DevOps perspective is this concept of release when ready. We really want software teams to release their software when it's ready and not go into these wait states. And a lot of that is forcing us to look at the dependencies and forcing us to change the way we integrate and talk to the different solutions across Nationwide.
Fabulous. There's a layout of how Steve and his teams are making Nationwide a much more efficient and effective organization. Thank you, Steve, for joining us today. Absolutely. For more information about Tech Power Players, please come to the ComSpark.tech website and join us for the event. Steve, thank you very much.